What it do, Durag Nation? Marvel Spider-Man 3 just got some news that is going a little viral right now that I had to talk about. And not because it's massive, groundbreaking information or anything, but because of what it could mean for the story of Marvel Spider-Man 3. This may be a hot take, but I honestly don't agree with it and think this could lead to a worse game. I'll explain why and later on get into the latest on the Venom game and how this all connects. As usual, I'll respect your time and get right into the information, and if you got any value, Hulk smash that like button to share it, or change it to a dislike if the video was dog water. So of course, this news comes from our GOAT, Yuri Lowenthal, the voice of Peter Parker, who has actually been yapping about Spider-Man 3 quite a bit. One of the reasons I love Yuri Lowenthal and voice actors in general is they're so passionate they can't help but leak stuff, like he did with that new Persona game, or how Najee Jeter leaked details about Spider-Man 2. In this case, Yuri was at Expo Canada meeting fans, and friend of the channel Caboose, as well as some other creators, got pictures with Spider-Man and asked him questions. And of course, they asked him about Marvel Spider-Man 3. The answer Yuri gave that's getting the most attention is when he was asked about Carnage being in Spider-Man 3, saying he can't talk about it, but Insomniac is cooking something. And to his credit, I think Yuri gave one of the best answers he could have without dropping a full spoiler and getting a visit from Marvel and Sony agents. But people still took this response to mean Carnage would be part of the story of Marvel Spider-Man 3. I might be in the minority here, and let me know in the comments where you stand on this, but I don't want Carnage to be in Spider-Man 3. I think the best use of Carnage would have been to continue the story arc you set up in a legit DLC expansion for Spider-Man 2, or make it part of the rumored Miles Morales-sized Venom game, or even make it DLC for Spider-Man 3. That would work great as well. You can do it in 3 parts, like The City That Never Sleeps. But I think the main story of Spider-Man 3 should be focused on Green Goblin and their version of the final chapter comic storyline they set up at the end of Spider-Man 2. The reason why is because I think what actually hurt the story of Spider-Man 2, besides Sony not letting them delay the game, is they tried to include too much. The Kraven's Last Hunt story could have been its own game. The symbiote arc has so much to it, you could easily make 3 games out of it. Yet they put both together and didn't really have time to develop either to their full potential, because Insomniac also likes to keep their stories to around that 15-hour mark. That's why so much content ended up being cut, including a whole arc where Miles got the symbiote, as well as 90% of the lines the late Tony Todd recorded for Venom. I think the best thing they could do for Spider-Man 3 is follow what worked with Miles Morales and Spider-Man PS4. Have one main story focus and a B plot that complements it. Carnage deserves more. He's not just a throwaway villain for a good opening set piece like Sandman. Their version of Cletus is really good, and I think he deserves extra time and attention. And again, Insomniac could very well fully intend to not put Carnage in Spider-Man 3 in a meaningful way beyond another side quest that sets up DLC or an expansion. And if that's the case, I support it 100%. Though it would be very cool to see him as the main villain of a Venom game. And the interesting thing about that project is we'll get to find out very soon if the reports of Venom dropping next year are true, as well as potentially get a new trailer for Wolverine thanks to this newly leaked PlayStation event. Click the video on screen to learn more. And a huge shout out to everyone supporting me on Patreon.